All right, we're going to be working on lesson 2.7 today, which is where we're just going to be solving proportions, okay? All right, so we're going to start by defining the word proportion. So it says it's an equation that states that two ratios are equal. And I'm just going to put the equal sign here, are equal. Okay, so that's what a proportion is. So now, some of you guys were probably taught, I know some of you have been saying like the butterfly method, things like that. We don't usually say butterfly method at the high school level. A lot of times we'll just call it cross multiply. Now don't get that confused with cross canceling fractions, okay? So cross, if I'm looking here, I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to take the x times the 40 and drop it in and call it 40x equals, and I'm going to take the 10 times the 25 and get 250. All right, and then once you do that, now you're just solving the equation, okay? So again, you might call this the butterfly method. I call it cross multiplication, okay? And then at this point, just solve for x. So we're going to divide both sides by 40. So you end up with x equals, the zeros will cancel out, and you can leave it as 25 fourths. If you want to find out how many fours go in, you could call it 6 1/4. Okay, but again, you can just leave it improper. All right, so let's go to B here. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cross multiply. So I'm going to take 8 times x plus 4. So you've got 8 and then x plus 4 equals, and then you're going to cross multiply here. 5 times 3 is 15. So you're going to go ahead and distribute the 8 to both parts. So you have 8x plus 32. Now I am fine if you don't write this step and you go straight to here. So if you go ahead and take the 8 times the 4 and put 8 times the x and put 8x, and then 8 times the 4 and put 32, I'm okay with that. So if you skip this line right here, that is fine. Okay, equals 15. All right, and again, it's just at this point, we're just solving equations. So I'm going to subtract 32 from both sides. So 8x equals negative 17, and then divide by 8. So x equals negative 17 over 8 is your final answer here. Okay, all right, so let's go to the next one. All right, so now we've got variables on both sides. It doesn't change what we're going to do. We're still going to go ahead and just cross multiply, and we're going to take 10 times 2n minus 4, and then in this direction we're going to take the 5 equal 5 times the 3n plus 3. So now you're going to have to go ahead and distribute here. 20n minus 40. Make sure you take that 10 to both parts. Same thing on the right hand side. Take the 5 to both parts, and you're going to get 15n plus 15. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move my 15 over first. So I'm going to subtract the 15n over to this side. Again, doesn't really matter what you do here first. So I've got 5n minus 40 equals 15. Now I'm going to add 40 to both sides. So 5n equals 55, and then I'm going to divide by 5. So n equals 11. All right, next problem here. We're going to be looking at D now. Okay, what I'd ask you to do is go ahead and let's pause the video, and I want you to try D on your own. Once you've got D completed, I want you to go ahead and push play again and see if you got it right. Okay, so you should have just completed D. So we're going to start by cross multiplying. So we should be taking 7 times the c plus 1. Again, if you want to go ahead and just call it 7c plus 7, I'm okay with that after you distribute. Equals. And then on the other side here, let's go ahead and multiply 4c minus 2. So we're going to get 4c minus 8. All right, so again, it's just solving an equation now. Subtract 4c from both sides. So we end up with 3c plus 7 equals negative 8. Now let's subtract the 7 over, and 3C equals negative 15. Divide by 3, and C equals negative 5. Okay, let's go ahead and head down now to word problem. Okay, so the directions are to define a variable, write a proportion, and solve it, and then of course we're going to write a complete sentence. Okay, a portable media player has 2 gigabytes of storage and can hold about 500 songs. A similar but larger media player has 80 gigabytes of storage. How many songs can the media player hold? All right, so we're going to be looking for how many songs. So that's going to be us defining our variable there. So I'm going to zoom in. So x equals number of songs. Okay, so now writing a proportion, again, find a relationship, okay? So my first relationship here says we have got 2 gigabytes of storage and can hold 500 songs. So there's a relationship, so that's going to be my first proportion. So I'm going to write 2 gigabytes, I'm going to put G just for gigabytes, and 500 songs, so S for songs, equals, now if I put gigabytes on top on this side, I have to put gigabytes on top on this side. So I know that the other player has 80 gigabytes, and I'm trying to find how many songs is that. Again, notice how I've got the songs, the S's, the songs lined up, and gigabytes lined up. It doesn't matter what's on top, what's on bottom. As long as gigabytes stay lined up, songs stay lined up, we're good to go, okay? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. So I'm going to take 2 times x and get 2x equals 500 times 80. And I'm going to end up with 40,000 when I do that. Divide by 2 on both sides. So x equals 20,000. Okay, so now we need to write a complete sentence here. So we can say the larger media player will hold 20,000 songs. Okay, let's go ahead and flip over to the back side now. Okay, so an 8-ounce can of orange juice contains 97 milligrams of vitamin C. How many milligrams of vitamin C are there in, that's supposed to be in, there's a typo there, in a 12-ounce can of orange juice? All right, so again, what are we looking for? We're looking for how many milligrams. Okay, so we're going to zoom in here, and I'm going to, whoops, and I'm going to put M equals number of milligrams. Okay, again, find a relationship. So if I kind of come up here, it says, I'm going to highlight for you, 8 ounce, 97 milligrams. Okay, so that's one relationship. So now go ahead, go down here to the bottom, and let's write our proportions. So we know 8 ounces, 97 milligrams. Okay, again, over here, you want to keep your ounces on top, milligrams on the bottom. Okay, and since M is the number of milligrams, we know we're putting M here. And go back up here and find the other guy right here, 12 ounces. Whoops, didn't highlight there. 12 ounces, and it's talking about how many. Okay, so I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to put 12. Okay, in for my ounces. All right, so now you're going to go ahead and let's cross multiply. M times 8 is 8M equals 12 times 97. And 12 times 97 is 1164. All right, and then we're going to divide both sides by 8. Okay, and so when we do that, M equals 145.5. All right, so now write your sentence. So coming back up here, we're looking at a 12-ounce can. How many milligrams? So a sentence would be a 12-ounce can has 145.5 milligrams of vitamin C. All right, that concludes our notes for lesson 2-7.